Okay, so Drowned Shrine of Uther. Champions can't draw more than one card a turn. Ugh, definitely not the rare I want to see in my opening pack here. We got a Rallying Banner's pretty good. Brutal Bone Master's also pretty good. Stone Caller's Mind Caller's okay. Prophet of Ren. Construction Plan, Subterranean Spy. Okay, so it looks like Brutal Bone Cracker is probably what we're going to want, unless we want to go Dwarves with these construction plans. So, yeah. Hear about the Final Fantasy VII reboot? I have not heard about it, but I would like you to tell me about it, bro. That's my brother, by the way. So we went with Brutal Bone Cracker. So it looks like we're going pretty hard on the Blood Orcs, or maybe Blood Ruby Orcs. No Ruby cards in this one. We got a Hex Geode. Feeding the Young Ones might be okay, I guess. Let's see, what's another really good card in here? Not the best pack, really. I'm not seeing a ton of things I really want. We got a Surprise Runk Gang is okay. Spirit Hound. It looks real this time. Okay. I guess I'll take the Feeding the Young Ones to just push out the blood right now. Excavation Hulk is a decent body, but I think I'm just going to go with Feeding here. If only they rebooted Chrono Trigger, that would never happen. Thing is, Chrono Cross was just so bad. I think that's the big issue with Chrono Trigger. I did not like Chrono Cross that much. I even rebought it after somebody beat it and didn't try playing through it again because I lost my save game or whatever. Right, so we do have an Elite Pyromancer is decent here. We also have Darkspire Punisher is okay as an orc type of thing. Necrophage Sensei for each troop in my graveyard. I mean, it's not in all graveyards, just in my graveyard. So probably Darkspire Punisher, just go on the Darkspire. I mean, we could go Elite Pyromancer's really good too. Kind of steal that from those humans players. Punisher might table. He might actually table. So actually, you know, I think I will take this Pyromancer. Although we could take Ridge Rager. That might be best. Control another Orc has +1. Yeah, let's go Orc aggro and we'll get this Ridge Raider here. Yeah, that's probably the best one for us. Going some sort of Orc aggro here. Alright. Yeah, Chrono Trigger 64. Well, I know that they're coming out with the Earthbound game is coming out on, you know, everyone's been hyping it so much and asking about it that finally Nintendo was like, fine, fanboys, you can have it. So I'm going to take the Overtime bot here in case I get whatever it's called later, and in case I get the combo card, the Dwarven Ballistics training later, because I am in Ruby. Goes along with that. It can go on a lot of things, but this is definitely the combo. Oh, it's just the original Earthbound? Well, that's not cool. There's another group of people that's putting together an Earthbound thing, too. So there's another Darkspire Punisher here. So you can see people really don't want those. Killblade may be better for us. Killblade is very good, but, I mean, with the Orcs, if I pick up the Darkspire Punisher, that feels more orky. Like what I should be doing. Killblade or Darkspire Punisher? Oh, Killblade seems better. I'll take the Killblade. Take the Killblade. It will be more aggro-y. Not a lot of Ruby stuff tying us to Ruby right now. This Wounded Warrior Hero doesn't do a lot for me. Burrow Bunny is okay. Burrow Bunny's okay for what we're doing. Excavation Hulk would be alright here, so we'll take the Burrow Bunny. So there's Earthbound that there's like another group of people are making, but I'm still waiting for the lawsuit to come down because I saw them like at the YouTube about them and I was like, well, I hope that they actually don't prosecute. Yeah, someone looks like someone is grabbing the ruby, so I mean, Wild may be super open though. I'm starting to see a lot of Wild stuff. Yeah, there's that Surprise Runk Gang. Routing Buffalo's not bad for as a body. Maniacal Engineer is okay if I had like more Crush stuff, or if I had things that buffed Crush, that would be okay. If I had the whatever his name is, the there's an orc or something that buffs all your Crush troops. If I had that guy, if I was in Ruby, or well, I am in Ruby, but looks like we're mostly just Blood right now, like super Blood. Mazet Spearman, not a favorite of mine, but he does okay. He does some work, so we'll pick him up here. Yeah, I remember the Chrono Trigger project. Yeah, they shut that down pretty quick, for sure. For sure, bro. For some reason, my Hex chat isn't updating, so I don't see if other people are in the channel. So if you are in the channel and I haven't said hello to you, you can always say hello to me, and I will say hello back. We're gonna go with the Excavation Hulk here. It's the decentest body. We play it for 2, and then on turn 6 it finally hits the table, type of thing. So in limited, this can be pretty good for us. I moved my Ruby card into the bin. I guess I don't really have to do that just yet, but it looks like Ruby is super getting sucked up from the right side here, or left side, whichever way you really want to look at it. Ivory Pawn is, Ebony Pawn is okay, so we're going to pick that up. It's not a bad one if I can stall out a board state. Prophet of Ren, that's, wow, so some, like, people are not humans, because, like, that guy made it all the way around. That's a very surprising humans so late kind of draw. Molten Slag Lord is not bad for the body. He's just not an orc or any of that stuff. So Bucktooth Roshi is our rare in pack 2, which I'm kind of tempted to pick up, but I'm not really in wild at all, although I did see a decent amount of wild stuff table, so we might be okay. We also have a Mazet Spearman, could be pretty good for us. Lethal Weapons is okay. I almost want to just rare draft this Roshi, because I'm sure this Mazet Spearman will probably table, maybe, and Lethal Weapons is okay, too. That's a decent piece of removal on the attack. Should I try to win, or should I rare draft? That's the question here. It's basically like, rare draft or win. You know, if somebody in the channel tells me they want this Roshi, just let me know, and I'll just rare draft it and give it away at the end of the show here, at the end of the draft. But otherwise, it looks like the best pick here is probably your Mazet Spearman for what we have. And, like, Adrenaline Rush is pretty good too, but yeah, I'm thinking Mazet Spearman here for a nice early aggressive card. It'd be nice if I could get the Swift Strike to throw on this guy. That would be pretty amazing. I'd pick up Swift Strike, what is it called? Ruby Aura? I'd pick up Ruby Aura just to throw it on the Mazet Spearman. Someone's going to play this Bucktooth Roshi against me, I just know it. It's going to own my face. Oh, Constantina! Oh, I love Constantina. Man. Oh, I have a hard time passing that. Wild is definitely, like, super open. I almost feel like going Wild now and just dumping the Ruby. With the Constantina, I mean, Wild is so open. I think we gotta do it now. Let's see that. A Mentor of Oakenge. They went with, yeah. I think we're gonna do it. I have to take the Constantina. She's such a good card. A great card for me to get to give away later. So we're gonna go Wild here. We're gonna go Blood Wild, I guess, Orcs, and we'll play what's his name? The I forgot what the guy's name is, but yeah, it would have been nice to have realized that a little bit earlier, but I mean, I guess there's a chance that Bucktooth Roshi will table. There's a chance. We'll see. I don't really need, like, him in particular, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to start picking up wild things now, and it won't be a problem. I saw a lot of wild cards in our first pack, so Blood Wild seems like a pretty good combo for some sort of bunnies thing. There's Adrenaline Rush again. There's a Crackling Rot is probably our pick here. We also have a Runier Burrower is really good, and Mentor of Oakens is okay. But I think we're going to pick up that removal with the Crackling Rot. That seems pretty sick there, so we'll pick up that Crackling Rot. Seems like a pretty good choice. I'm going to shut off my phone sounds so that way it doesn't get into the stream too much there. Crackling Rot looks pretty good. Did you watch the Nintendo World Championships on Sunday, where they had the world champions of Nintendo playing really badly Nintendo games? They were just random people they pulled from the audience. There's no way those people were like professional Nintendo players. Or like at least a couple of them. Like, you could kind of tell. I couldn't believe like that 2 or 3 of them couldn't finish Super Metroid. Had never played it. Couldn't finish it. Couldn't believe it. Oh, Ambusher. That's an obvious choice here. Obvious choice is our Ambusher. We also have a Tormented Ritualist we're giving up, but there's a chance we may see another one. There's another Mazet Spearman. Of course, people don't especially. He's not really a high pick. Inductocopter Bot's also pretty good, but Wakizashi Ambusher, we saw him do some serious work for me in Constructed last weekend. I am a big fan of this card in Blood. -2, -2. He gets bigger when things die, other Shin Hair die, so yeah, seems pretty sick. You can basically play him for 2, which is nice. We also have Feeding the Young Ones, I just want to point that out. So this is kind of like been steering us towards, like, this should have been our signal, hey, maybe you should just go bunnies anyways, you know? I think that was our 3rd or 4th pick in our first pack, though. So decent amount of removal right now, and, you know, some battle hoppers and things that we can buff with the guy that gives all your things +1/+1. Forget what his name is right off the top of my head. So it looks like we're going to get this Warrior of Andronicus. That's also another nice one for this Wild Blood type of a deck archetype. Crackling Sprout's pretty good. Cottontail Scout is also pretty good, but we're not going to see that many of these guys, and they're a nice hefty body that, you know, can do a lot of damage when our opponent throws something in front of them, especially if they aren't paying attention and they're like, oh, I'll just block your 3/3 with my 3/3 for the trade, and you're like, I'll just use my one-shot ability to not trade. You know, sometimes you can catch somebody out like that. Definitely better than our Rotting Buffalo. Cockatrice is pretty good. I'm not sure what I would put on him, but I kind of don't want other people to have him. We got the Grave Nibbler's also really good. This is probably should be our pickup, honestly, here. Although we are in Wild, maybe we'll get some ramp to play the Cockatrice. What kind of things could we put on him? We could give him +1/+1. We could make him untargetable, so we can make him a 4/3 untargetable for 5. What else could we do? We could make him +1 front end. Yeah, probably the Grave Nibbler is just better for us overall. I like the Cockatrice, but it feels like with Cockatrice, you really just want to be diamonds, so you can give him Swift Strike, and then with Blood, you can give him the thing where every time he attacks, he gets +1 front end. I think that's pretty much the sickest combo with Cockatrice that you can come up with as far as the gem slots are concerned. Chalarus is okay. I'm a big fan of Thorntongue Snapdragon because flyers can be an issue, although we do have a decent amount of removal here. Thorntongue Snapdragon has that Sky Guard, which allows me to block those flyers. The Chalarus is okay in a very, like, niche situation. The biggest issue with this deck is we aren't really super heavy in Wild, but we're starting to pick up more Wild cards, and we need quad Wild in order to get this Sky Guard and Lethal up. But could be worth it. I'm a big fan of it. One of the big key components of playing a deck like this is getting the Rekosaurus in here. Rekosaurus is a 5/3 that's going to allow you to do some crush damage every time he attacks, so that's kind of a big deal. Another Feeding the Young Ones is be the pickup here, although we could take lethal weapons as well, but I like Feeding the Young Ones, even though it's more expensive. Let's see, lethal weapons, Feeding the Young Ones. I don't have a lot of Swift Strike. Maybe if I had more Swift Strike, I'd be like lethal weapons, because you're dealing the lethal damage on Swift Strike. Or maybe if I had something that pinged my opponent, I could throw lethal weapons on. Maybe. I don't know. There's a chance. I mean, I haven't tried it, so let's try lethal weapons. I haven't really tried it or had it do like crazy stuff for me, but there's a chance it could be good. I know a lot of other people are pretty big about it. So yeah, see, there's another lethal weapons. No problem picking it up there. So I could have taken the Feeding the Young Ones and picked up lethal weapons here. Bucktooth Banner Bunny is another classic for this deck. Pretty easy pickup for me. Gobbleglade Witch is also pretty good. Not too many constants I'm worried about in this format unless I run up against a diamond player. And even then, there's like, chances are pretty good they won't have the diamond constant. So we're curving out okay here too. Just want to point that out. Everything looks pretty good, and a lot of our expensive stuff actually could cost 2. Another Grave Nibbler could be pretty sick for us, but we could also pick up this giant Mosquito. Mosquito can be pretty good. It gives us that flying. We don't have a lot of flyers. It could block flyers. It could buy us a turn. I do like the Grave Nibbler. With the decent amount of sack stuff, but I'd have to play a different sack champion, so I think I'm going to go with the Giant Mosquito, which it seems like it would take the buff a little bit better. Wretched Wrangler, create 2 Battle Hoppers, put them in your hand. That's pretty good. We also have Cogtempthal's Thirst. That one draws me a card, and that's removal. I think I kind of like that a little bit better. than the Wretched Wrangler. Just the decent removal on there, giving that -1 backhand. You know, I can kill all the X1s, and if I happen to have 4 blood in play, I can cantrip it and draw another card, which always seems good. Battle Hardened Pot, each troop in your hand gets +1/+0. That's okay. I think maybe just another Mazet Spearman may be the way to go here, though. I don't know. Maybe we'll go with the paw. We'll go with the Battle Hardened Paw. I already have 2 Mazet Spearmans. I'm not as... Yeah, see, there's another one. See, people know the Mazet Spearman is not really the most amazing thing, but I'll pick another one up here anyways, just in case. In case I run into that one person that's super aggro, I can try to, you know, throw a bunch of Mazet Spearmen at him, I guess, or something. But I probably won't play this many in the main deck. Cunning Skullcaster is pretty good as a 2-drop. We can throw it down and can't block for us, but you know, if we buff it, it's a 4/2. I mean, that seems pretty relevant. Going into pack 3, here's our set 1 pack. And we get Lixil, the Deathless Gem, which is completely useless to us. Lixil, the Deathless Gem, is a 3 for 3, it's a 3 and a diamond for 3/3, and it can be invincible if you happen to have all the threshold on the table. Not going to happen for us. We got the Wild Child and Wild. For blood, we got a Blood Bear is okay. Wailing Banshee is probably the best pickup for us, although we could take Infiltrator Bot, but Wailing Banshee is a little bit faster. Plus, if we buff it, a 3/3 that's unblockable seems pretty good, and there's a chance we might pick up some sort of healing to throw on it, and that would also seem to be pretty good. So one of those things where it's kind of like, eventually, like, you have to answer it. So Wailing Banshee is going to be our pickup here. This is when we're supposed to get our windfall of things, because we've kind of like taken a lot of blood stuff and wild stuff, so we should see some really good wild and blood stuff here, hopefully. We're passing back the other direction, so I'm not sure why it's not showing anybody else's names in the chat. I'm guessing other people are in here hanging out with me, but it's hard to say. If you are here, you know, welcome. I do appreciate you stopping by. I'm not sure why my Hex chat isn't updating that often to show me the names of the people that are in my channel. Fang of the Mountain God might be pretty good as a, you know, we are pretty heavy aggro. We also have a Buller Brute's okay if we could give him some flying or something. Turret Wall could hold off our opponent. Shadow Grove Witch is pretty good. You know, defends really well in this type of deck. I kind of want to go with this Fang though, Fang of the Mountain God, as the aggro, you know, pick up some more orc aggro. It seems like a heavy orc aggro type of card that we could play. Not super amazing, but if we buff it especially, it'll be really good. So we'll pick up that. How many times do you get to play Fang of the Mountain God in your limited deck? Probably not that often. The biggest issue with him is he doesn't really come out ahead very quickly, because like I play him and then the next turn I deal 1 point of damage to myself and 2 to my opponent, so it's like double the damage I'm dealing to myself, but at the same time I'm only coming out 1 point ahead. So like eventually he becomes a, you get into situations where if it's a stalled board state, you end up giving him up as a body. You're just like, just kill him so I don't have to deal with him anymore, please, to your opponent. Howling Brave, if we were to ramp into some things, we have some things that are kind of need to be ramped into, like this Thorntongue Snapdragon, or feeding the young ones. But Experimental Warhulk is also really good. Having that crush is really good. Goes in any deck, really. The Howling Brave, we may see another one, we may not. We also have a Savage Raider if we wanted to be, you know, but we aren't really in Ruby anymore, so that's probably not a thing for us. I'm saying Experimental Warhulk, and then maybe hopefully get a Howling Brave or some sort of ramp later. That's probably our best pickup here. The Crush is just really good. +1/+0 until the end of the turn. We can crush over our opponents and then finish the deal. Especially when we've got other things to buff our stuff, like this Battle Hardened Paw, or our Champion Power, which is Fuzzico. That's who it is, Fuzzico, we're going to choose for our champion. Endbringer, that seems pretty good for our type of deck. Yeah, I'll play Endbringer. Rage 2 and each champion with 10 or less health. Eats this and other, yeah. So I mean, as long as I can get the early aggro in there, that seems pretty sick. We also have Gem Crazed Berserker, which I would typically give some sort of evasion to, so he can only be blocked by other Ruby troops. Although I'm not in Ruby, I keep forgetting I'm not in Ruby. I keep forgetting that because I started in Ruby. Bloodbearer is okay. Atrophy is okay. I think this Endbringer, yeah, we could pick this guy up. That seems pretty good. We don't have a ton of orcs, but we have a decent amount where he could be good. He's also a 4/4 body for 5, and that's pretty respectable, especially in draft. It's getting close to, well, I guess there's like an hour and a half before the kids are supposed to go to bed, but of course it's getting to the end of the day, so they're throwing their little fits. Another infiltrator bot. We've got a Sorrow is okay for a lot of X1s, but I'm thinking infiltrator bot here. Not seeing any more wild again, so the wild's getting sucked up. The Glimmerglen Witch is okay too. I mean, I guess I already have an evasive troop. I've got this Banshee. Maybe I should pick up the Glimmerglen Witch just to, you know, a nice little life gainer. Or Sorrow even is okay, but it kind of works against my own deck pretty heavily, so it's either Glimmerglen Witch or Infiltrator Bot. I don't know. For my curve, I have to go with Glimmerglen Witch. I've got some nice stuff at the 5-point range already, so I mean, I've got the Experimental Warhulk, the Endbringer, and the Snapdragon seems pretty good, and Feeding the Young Ones, and all these things, they cost 5, and they don't cost any less than that, so Runs the Litter is okay for me. That might be what we end up with here. Another quick drop that we can buff later. Turn Zombie's okay, Sniper Gwen's okay. Yeah, I think we're going to go with the Runs of the Litter, because we just need that early drops, so that way we can buff them later with our Champion Power. Especially if we don't have that many of these, it's not so bad. Because like there's a chance like later on in the game we'll drop this and be like, well, I don't have a buff to buff it with. So I guess they'll just be 0-1 blockers. Those little battle hoppers. Unfortunately, we haven't picked up any of the buffs that buff our field very well. We did not get a Rechosaurus like I wanted to get, but it is what it is. Can't really play the Honey Cap. Darkspire Priestess, I don't even think I bought. I didn't get those other guys. Bought the other guys. We do have a Throat Cutter in here, though, and that's pretty good. The orcs I have control have Rage 1. That seems pretty relevant. So let's pick up that guy. Yeah, that seems pretty good. So Orc aggro at its finest. I might not even have to play Wild. I might just end up playing Blood with the way things are looking. But I have a decent amount of Wild stuff that I may end up playing Wild. We'll see. I might just play whatever it is, Benoshi the Ruthless, where you can sacrifice your own guys. I might play that guy. Problem is I need to have something nice to sack, and that's in set 2, and we didn't get him. We didn't get the, I forget what the guy's name is, but you can sacrifice him and then he just keeps coming back. Briar Legion, I'm not going to see too many more of these. I mean, we're down to the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards. Wild Aura is probably our best pickup here. So yeah, we'll pick up the Wild Aura right here. Wild Aura is a great little buff that, you know, you can trick with it and you can get removal out of it. It just does a lot of things. Cost 4, it's a little expensive, but should be okay. If we decide to stick with Wild, or, you know, it depends. We have to decide if we can be strong enough to be okay if we just go Blood. But, you know, we got quite a few Mazet Spearmans. Maybe that'll be okay. Maybe that'll be good enough. Really nothing in here to pick for us, so we basically just pick the biggest body we don't want to deal with. Probably this Heavy Welding Bot is the biggest body we don't want to deal with. We have no targets for it. We probably won't play it. This is our pack. This is the pack 1 that's come around the table, so we can see we've got a Turret Wall and a Shadow Grove Witch. I like the Shadow Grove Witch, is it's just more removal. The Turret Wall is good too. But I feel like I'm trying to aggro a little bit harder, and this can get rid of threats before they become threats, so Shadow Grove Witch it is. Okay. Probably the Charge Bot is at least playable here, so we'll pick that up. Could also get the Heavy Welding. I mean, I guess now I actually have a target for Heavy Welding Bot, but I still don't really want to play it. I hate using things and not having them work. I understand his body is pretty good. He's got a 4/5 body. It's pretty good. Blood Bearer would be the pick here. Troop controls dies. Yeah, that's the pick up here. Although I probably could have counter drafted there because Blood Bearer is really not that great. I could have just picked up the really big body. Okay, a couple more cards, then we're done. Another heavy welding bot's the biggest body, but I don't really, like, if it's got past me here, I don't think someone's going to play it anyway, so I'm going to take this Rigid Buffalo, which seems more playable as a body, but it's definitely not useful for me. And Determined Zombie is at least playable, and it's a body. The other card is not really useful. At least for me, I don't think it's as useful as, like, Determined Zombie. And then we got our Radiant Armor as our final dredge there. I'm going to go close this door. Oh gosh. Alright, so here we go with the deck building. Alright, so typical put everything back type of thing, although it would be nice if I had an option to do this in the future. I hope that they implement that. I don't know, there probably are people out there that have their whole deck built and they have their stuff set up before they get to this point, but I prefer to at least go through everything because there's a bunch of picks and make my final choices here, you know. That's the wrong thing to turn off. So we're turning off everything except for Blood and Wild here, so we're going to turn off Sapphire and Ruby and Diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. And there we go. We have to make a decision if we're going to go Wild or not, if we're going to play Wild. We can actually play Wild in games 2 and 3 if we have to. I mean, I do like things like Warrior of Andronicus is very strong. That's just one card. We also have the Constantina, which is very strong as well. We saw that the Roshi, the Bucktooth Roshi, didn't come back around to us, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. We're definitely playing Blood for sure, so let's see what kind of Blood stuff we can put in here that is decent. If we ended up with all of the Blood things that are really good, would it be enough? Throat Cutter, Giant Mosquito is pretty good. This Experimental War Hulk's pretty good. Shadow Grove Witch, Feeding the Young Ones is pretty good. Determined Zombie is okay. Chargebot is okay. I'm really not sure if I mean, I drafted this guy, like, but I'm not sure that I want to even play that guy. But Borrowed Money's okay. And so we've got 20 cards. I mean, we could do this, but I mean, let's see what our curve looks like. Maybe if we should be doing this. So we got a bunch of 1-drops. I mean, we're pretty hyper aggro here. This guy plays for 2. This guy plays for 2. I mean, that's definitely doable. And if we needed to go bigger or something, or if we felt like we needed to go into Wild, like if we're playing Wild, we're playing it because we have Wild Aura, Warrior of Andronicus, and Constantina. I mean, that's 3 cards. Whereas in here, like, we're playing Blood because we've got like Wailing Banshee, Grave Nibbler's really good, Wakizashi Ambusher's really good, Brutal Bonecracker can end games, we've got an Endbringer. I mean, it just seems very much more strong. Giant Mosquito's decent. Seems pretty good, especially like this Giant Mosquito plus Fang of the Mountain God. That seems pretty good. Plus, I guess what we can do is we can play the Sack Champion now. We can play Benoshi the Ruthless and not feel too bad about it because, like, if we have to, we can sacrifice Fang of the Mountain God when he's taking too much health from us and still put his 2 damage on something else. And we can put it on things like Wailing Banshee and that sort of stuff. So that feels pretty good. So we need to get some more Blood stuff to play. So we may end up playing Rotting Buffalo as a decent body, Determined Zombie, and Chargebot. Or we could also play this Pawn or Blood Bearer is pretty good too. I'd probably rather play the Blood Bearer over the Determined Zombie. Determined Zombie seems mostly useless to me. Ebony Pawn is okay. We could also play that in here, but that's another one where I'd rather have something that affects the board state. I feel like we can do pretty well with this. 17 shards. Removals there. Sonic. Excavation Hulk is another one we could play in here. It's a little bit slow. Could play this Excavation Hulk. It does cast for 2, which is nice. It's a little slow. Actually, I do like the Bloodbearer with the champion power. Charge bot. I have a lot of 1-drops, so I don't necessarily need this charge bot. I think I'd rather have the Excavation Hulk, and that it's going 17 shards here. I think that should be pretty good. So we'll stick with that. And we gotta pick a cool sleeve to put on this. So let's see what we got. Oh yeah, we gotta use this one. There we go. Yeah, the one with all the death on it. Yeah, it's got the stench of death. There we go. The collector deck sleeve. So we'll save and continue here. Playing. Zubrin wrote an article about that, about multi-queuing. Of course, you really can't multi-queue now because there's only one tournament going, but, you know, on pre-release weekends and stuff. Yeah, we're definitely going to play first. We want to be as fast as possible here, coming out of the gate swinging with our awesome Mazet Spearman. We'll keep this hand. This is pretty awesome. Starting out with an opening hand with a Mazet Spearman to start swinging away at Praelin, and then play a Bloodbearer, which we could eventually like sacrifice the Bloodbearer to the Mazet Spearman and buff it with our champion power, giving him +2 back end, giving him that 3-point back end. That makes it pretty sick. So seems like a nice aggressive hand to start out the game, to start out this tournament with. So we'll go ahead and just throw him out there, start going to work. Mazet Spearman. Going to be spearing him in the face. Praelin's using his alpha player sleeves. Mazet Spearman has Rage 1, so like when he attacks, you know, his front end, his attack power will get bigger every time he attacks. Just for declaring an attack, it gets bigger. Okay, there's a Wailing Banshee's another good one. Good target for our champion power. We'll play our Bloodbearer in the second main phase here. Go to our attack step and swing in with a Mazet Spearman here, doing that 1 point of damage, which can only get worse every turn after this. Going in on this Bloodbearer. And that way when we sacrifice stuff, we'll gain some health and try to stay ahead of the game that way. So if he has no defenders next turn, then we're going to be swinging for 3, which is, you know, it's going to work. Oh, but he's in Ruby, Sapphire and Ruby, and he's got a Field Tactician. Very interesting. So we could Cogtepidal's Thirst that thing to just pull it off the table. I mean, he's probably just going to exhaust our Mazet Spearman. I don't know that I really want to give up Mazet Spearman. Want to trade Mazet Spearman? I mean, it's a decent trade. Let's see what happens if I go to combat. Let's see what he's going to exhaust here. He can exhaust in response to Cogtepidal's Thirst as well, but I want to draw a card off of this. I want to get that 4th blood into play before I play this anyways. So he's trying to figure out what he wants to exhaust. He probably wants to exhaust my Spearman, but he's probably like, well, he'll probably still attack with the Bloodbearer here. Even the Bloodbearer is really not that big of a deal to me. It's going to exhaust the Mazet Spearman, just like we talked about. And we'll go ahead and swing in. I don't think that he's even going to block this Bloodbearer, honestly. I don't think he's going to make the trade. Oh, he will make the trade. Wow, that's very interesting to me, that he's going to make that trade. I guess he just doesn't want me gaining health. Sure, that's fine. Go in on this Wailing Banshee. And that should be the turn for us. We can make this a 4/4 Banshee and start swinging away with it. He is in Ruby, which means he can kill this Banshee. I guess we could have sacrificed our Mazet Spearman to the Banshee, but I kind of want to see what transpires this turn. So we'll see. Oh, he's going to bury something. So there's a chance that it could be whatever it's called. I mean, it's a rare card, But he could have the dwarf. Chances are pretty good he doesn't. Give both these guys lethal. Play Fang. I'm just gonna chance it. We're gonna just go in. I feel like I just need to push this damage, so we're just gonna go in on it. Let's see if he's got him. No, I didn't think so. This is a rare card. There's a chance. There's a pretty good chance he doesn't have the. I forget what the guy's name is, but that guy. We'll go ahead and play the Fang here. And next turn we got all kinds of damage coming into Praelin's face. Another 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage next turn. So, what's that guy's name? The ooh, he's gonna do that. Okay. So he's got flying and deal damage to me. Okay, deal damage to my face. Okay, sure. I'm fine with that. I don't even really need to use lethal weapons because he's going to, yeah. Or I could just ambush his guy as well if I had another resource. So we'll go ahead and swing through, and then we'll, yeah, we'll bury our ambusher after that. So we'll go ahead and swing through, swing, swing, swing. Yeah, the Fang of the Mountain God's going to deal 1 point of damage to my face every turn. Yeah, he's just going to take all of it. I'll go ahead and take this moment to bury my ambusher here. And that should be it for my turn this turn. So it'll eventually kill, I'll be able to kill his sorceress. Gets a subterranean spy in play, sure. Some more damage coming into my face. He's just trying to race me on damage. But the thing is, like, next turn I've got him, so I don't know that he can even attack here. Cogtepidal's Thirst will push me over the edge here. Plays an Arena Brawler, which can block. He might swing with, like, the Subterranean Spy here. Oh, he's going to give that guy flying. Okay. Oh, he's going in. Okay. Sure, I'll take 5. Can't not take 5 because I have no blockers, even if I had, you know, something that could block flying. So if he doesn't block here, I can Cogtepidal's Thirst for the win for 3 points of damage. And there's that. So we'll go and swing through. Can't really stop my Banshee, and so that's like 5 damage with Cogtepidals. So let's see, it blocks, no blocks. He's got a blocker. He's going to block there. So this is 4. 5, 6, 7 is not enough. And then he's going to deal 5 back. Let's see. Let's get lethal. 2 target troops get lethal. I think I'm just going to kill his Arena Brawler during this block. Oh, you know what? I should have just killed his Arena Brawler and then attacked. Duh. He has 3 resources, though. I mean, he could have stopped it, but just to draw a card here. I'm just going to save my guy, draw a card. Deal with combat damage. Play a Giant Mosquito. Going to play a Moon Monk. It's quick action. You can't block with it though, because we're after he could declare. So he would have needed to have done that. Oh, he's going to unexhaust that guy. Okay, doesn't do anything because we're still, yeah, still in blocks. He couldn't declare a block because the declaring blocks comes before you get to play spells. No real reason to use this. I mean, I guess I could buff my Sky guy. With Fang? Yeah, I'll go ahead and buff my Sky guy with Fang so I have a blocker, a nice hefty 3/3 blocker that stops both of these guys, and Subterranean Spy can come through, and then I've got 3 in the sky that to heal myself with. And we've got Ambusher coming in 2 turns. Just gonna bolt my guy. Take 5. Looks like he might have it here. I can feeding, if I draw a resource, I can feeding the young ones his Moon Monk and then just swing through for lethal. Otherwise, oh, there we go. So do this, see if he's got counter here. So we have to do this. Okay, I guess he's calling it there. Okay, interesting. Okay, well, so Orc deck's doing pretty well so far. I don't see any big changes that I could make here, or whatever sacrifice deck I guess you could call it. Yeah, I think we just save and continue pretty much. Just go at it and see if we can get a nice aggressive hand again. Yeah, he probably did. He probably knew, like, at 5 resources I have feeding. There's a very good chance I've got feeding the young ones. He probably saw at least 1 go by, so. Ugh, yucky hand. We're going to keep it, but because we're up a game, but it's not the best. Early Bloodbear is okay, but I need to draw some more gas. The Endbringer's nice at the end of the game, and we can play it with what we have, but chances are pretty good he might have this one. We'll see what happens. That's part of the excitement of the game, right? Do get the first draw, which happens to be a flood a little bit. Or flood a lot, rather. I flooded a lot already. It's not like I don't have plays here, so... Gets both of his threshold right away. Get the Ruby Pyromancer in play. Might as well swing through. I feel like this is a bad block for him to make, so... I mean, although I guess... Okay, there's a Burrow Bunny. That's decent. So we'll go ahead and swing through with the Blood Bearer. I feel like this is a bad block for him to make. Yeah, I would love for him to make this block. But... I don't see him making it. So we'll bury that Burrow Bunny. And he'll show up in 2 turns, so that's not so bad. We get a nice 4/1 that we'll probably end up trading with one of his guys. But if he might just, you know, go balls to the wall and just keep swinging away. Field Tactician, okay, can exhaust one of my guys. He should save it for something instead of just using it on Blood Bearer, but we'll see if that's, you know, which direction he's going to go on that. Taking the 2 points of damage, so I'm already behind. So at this point, I kind of have to just sit and block with the Blood Bearer. You know, getting the 1 point of damage in was, it was alright, but like taking 5 is unacceptable. Ooh, there's a Killblade. That's definitely good for us. So we're going to play the Killblade. We can't afford to sacrifice anything because he's got this guy that can exhaust my guys. But this way, at least I can trade my. You know, these guys will trade with anything. So we'll see if he wants to exhaust and try to push damage here, or if he's going to wait. This is only Orcs get the Rage 2, so right now none of the troops I have. He does give it to himself. To the skies, his guys, sure. That seems pretty good for him. Dealing 5 damage a turn seems pretty sick right now, given the board state. We do get Burrow Bunny next turn, so we can kind of keep some pace with him, as long as he doesn't play another troop here, which he can't because he just played To the Skies. He's only got 2 resources, kind of stuck on resources, so that's good for us. So hopefully, as long as we can keep pace with him, we'll be okay, because he's got 5 and we've got 6 now. So, and a Brutal Bone Cracker, yeah, that's the sickness right there. So we actually get this guy to get speed as long as I have another Orc. I don't have another Orc, but he can't really do anything, so I'm just going to throw him out there. He can still exhaust. Yeah, he could have exhausted there, but he missed it. I think he's waiting See if I throw up a blocker or something. We're getting close to have this Endbringer give this guy crazy rage powers. Plus we can buff his back end with like one of these 1/1s as well. I might just do that now. Yeah, or I can just, I'll wait till next turn to do that. I'll wait till next turn. I'll buff the Bone Cracker, so just make him harder to block. You know, even if he'd have to double block him to deal with him. Arena Brawler, okay. That doesn't help me. I need some removal for that Arena Brawler. Take 5. Yep. So I might just decide to swing through here, because any of these guys is going to be a trade. He's going to want to trade with Bone Cracker. And there's Throat Cutter. This and other orcs you control have Rage 1. If I give this guy +1 backhand and then play the Endbringer, I mean, that should be okay. That should work, right? But then you can just exhaust him. I guess I might as well force out the exhaust here, so let's go ahead and do it. I'm not seeing a big reason to keep Killblade around, so that's going to be our sacrifice here. Yeah, exhaust my guy in response. Sure. We're still swinging for 5 here, so we're kind of like even with him, even though he's ahead, because he gets the swing before we get the swing. We really need something to just deal with these guys in the sky. This kind of makes me wish that I had picked up that, whatever it's called, the thing that deals -1/-1 all the guys' Sorrow. I wish I had picked up Sorrow, because it would just clean this deck out if I had picked that card up. But it also seemed to be really bad for my deck at the same time, so I don't know. Next turn we can swing for quite a lot. And he probably has something else he can play here, some sort of blocker. Oh, Crackling Bolt to the face. Yeah, that's going to be bad. Now I'm going to have to block with the Endbringer. No, I don't. Nope, never mind. I lose. Okay, yeah, we'll just lose good games and go to game 3 here. Yeah, that's good games there. Again, I don't really see too much of a reason. Maybe if I had some more flying or flying protection. I mean, I guess what I could do is I could throw this guy in there and go wild and change my entire deck, but that doesn't seem to be worth it. Like, I don't think it's going to be efficient enough to make it worth it. Like, the chances of me drawing this guy are very low, and he's only 1 card. Maybe if I had more cards. I mean, I already have a flyer in here, so let's just say we just go at it. I mean, we get to go first here. We're the aggro deck. As long as we flooded pretty hard that last game, so I say we just go for it. Yeah, see, there's a Madzet Spearman, a Grave Nibbler out on top of that. Sure, awesome. And then a Shadow Grove Witch. Yeah. Keep hand. This is great. No, we need mulls to 6. Definitely, it's getting better for us. Okay. So we'll go and do that. Play the Madzet Spearman. And we'll bury this Grave Nibbler, and pretty good chance we should be able to, when a troop dies, yeah, any troop dies, the Grave Nibbler gets bigger. Guy might even be like decent and constructed, you know. I mean, a 4/4 is nothing to sneeze at. Ooh, that's what we needed last game. Crackling Rot. That would have been very helpful. We're gonna go ahead and bury this guy now, or tunnel him rather. Should have done that after combat though. So swing in. No blocks. We want to wait on the Crackling Rot though. We want to wait until he's like to the skies to his guys, or like done like some, you know, buffs or something, because he's got a couple of buffs he's been using in his deck, so we do have to be aware of that. Shadow Grove Witch may actually hit one of his troops and completely invalidate it and snipe it from his hand, which would be nice for us. Spam Bot, yeah, I mean, it's okay. I mean, he's probably going to block with it, but I don't see that as being Crackling Rot worthy, at least not right now. Yeah, he should block here if I attack, so I'll just go ahead and make the trade. That's fine. I don't see why he wouldn't make this block. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's fine. Because now this guy becomes a 4/4. Yay! That's what we wanted, right? We totally wanted that to happen. And then next turn we get to play a Shadow Grove Witch, which hopefully will hit something good in his hand and invalidate it completely. Looks like he may not have a play here, which would be nice for us. I think he's missing his shard drop. Field Tactician, that's fine. We can deal with that. As long as, you know, but we'll wait again until he gives it flying. That's when we really want to, like, Crackling Rot it. We want to get that value out of Crackling Rot, because if we kill it, then he could just give flying to something else, you know. Giant Mosquito is pretty good for us, but I really want to play this Shadow Grove Witch sooner than later. We have no attacks to make here, so we might as well just play it here in our first main phase. See if we can get a hit. We get a hit with Shadow Grove Witch. No, we miss. Somehow he has a Ruby Shard, but he just decided not to play it. I'm a little bit baffled by that, but, you know, there's probably a reason. We got our Grave Nibbler coming down next turn. Shadow Grove Witch makes a great blocker or attacker, given that most of his stuff can't deal with 4 toughness very well. So, yeah, I don't see him attacking with his current board state. He does have Crackling Bolt in his deck, so we do have to be aware of that. Yeah, why not play it? Next level plays, yeah. He's bluffing with it, is probably what he's doing. It's like, I have things in my hand. He's going to exhaust the Grave Nibbler because that's the most damage. Makes sense to me. We'll play the Giant Mosquito in the second main phase. The nicest thing about Giant Mosquito in this matchup is the fact that it's going to block most of his flyers because they seem to have 1 toughness. He doesn't have a lot of the diamond flyers, have a lot of that nice back-end toughness to use. Unfortunately, we don't have anything great to sacrifice to make this Mosquito a 3/3 flyer with life drain, although that kind of plays into him Crackling Bolting us. So now that Phoenix Guard Enforcer that is something that I would want a Crackling Rot. But we'll do it on the attack here. We'll see if we can, like, swing with the Grave Nibbler and the Shadow Grove Witch and get him to see if he'll double block like Grave Nibbler or something, and then we can Crackling Rot and get super value out of it. Mazet Spearman will play in the second main phase, and we'll sacrifice it to the Giant Mosquito, depending on how this attack goes. Well, likely we're going to be sacrificing it to the Giant Mosquito. Probably next turn, before the Giant Mosquito actually goes to work, type of thing. Depending on if we can kill this Phoenix Guard Enforcer, so... It's just going to chump block here. Oh, is he going to block? No, he can't really do anything else. I guess he just chump blocks the damage off there. So, interesting choice. We'll go ahead and play the Mazet Spearman. Hold on to the Blood Shard because we really don't need any more shards. We can play everything in the deck. We can just bluff with this right now. And we haven't really used our champion power anyways, so, and we can use it. If we play this shard, we can only use your champion power once a turn. So, yeah. I'll probably Crackling Rot this guy in his end step. I'll probably even just take the damage here and just Crackling Rot in his end step. Seems like the best play to me. Okay. Well, round 1. Sacrifice decks seem to do pretty well there. A lot of nice aggressive early plays, and he mulliganed to 6, which was probably one of the biggest reasons why I won the 3rd game, but yeah, I just couldn't get there for Pralin that time. But very good player, excellent player. I'm not sure if he streams or not. But I've played up against him quite a few times, and he's pretty good.